guys? My name is Monica. I am a mama, personal trainer, exercise physiologist, and a certified nutrition coach. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is not your first time here, you can definitely see on my channel that I do have exercise videos on here. That's usually what I'm posting every Monday, but I'm going to be starting every Friday to be posting information, videos, tips, tricks on a healthy lifestyle. So today, I actually wanted to go ahead and hop into it. We're going to talk about the 4 things that I'd recommend in order to take control of your health this year so that you can make sure that you are maintaining your health, keeping your nutrition, your New Year's resolutions in track, and maybe just give you something that is a baseline. So if you ever fall off, you are at least hitting these four things throughout the year, because you can always fall back on these 4 basics when it comes to keeping your health in check. I also want to mention, if you do like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I usually come out with videos every Monday or Friday, or Monday and Friday starting now. So if you want to get a notification on when I do post, go ahead and, like I said, hit that subscribe button so that you can make sure you're getting that notification when I'm posting and you're not missing out on these videos. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today is making sure that you're getting your water intake in for the day. So I don't know how much I have to stress, but water is super important. Anybody, anywhere, starting in their fitness journey knows that water is important. If you didn't know that, now you do know. It is super important to make sure that you are drinking your water, because your body is kind of like a car, and water, I like to say, is like the gas in your body, or yeah, it's like the gas in your body. So it just helps kind of move things around, keeps your engine running, kind of keeps your engine cool too, because it helps with your cooling effect. So if you notice you're really hot or anything like that, water is really good. So we actually cool ourselves from the inside out. So just make sure you're taking your water intake in. Not only that, water helps make you feel full because it is very dense. So if you're having a hard time overeating, you may think like, hey, maybe I can drink some water, because that is a trick that you can do. I always say that dehydration and hunger usually have the same cues. So always be sure first, try to drink some water. If you're not hungry, then, or if you are still hungry, then you're probably really hungry. If you're not hungry after you drink some water, it's probably because you were just dehydrated. So just be mindful of that. Dehydration and hunger have the same cues. So you want to make sure that you're not mixing up those two and overeating. So like I said, water is super important. I'd recommend getting something that you know the fluid ounce value to. So for example, this guy. I actually use these at my house. These are 32 ounce tumblers. But what you can do is calculate how much you need. So you usually need about 67% of your body weight. That's usually what I recommend. Some people recommend more, but as a baseline, I like to recommend at least 67%. So with that tumbler being 32 ounces, usually with that, you can calculate how much water you need. So for that, if you're about 150 pounds, I usually like to do this because it's a really easy calculation. If you're 150 pounds, 67% of your body weight is 100.5 fluid ounces. So if you're somebody trying to reach that goal, you need probably about 3.5 of those tumblers in order to reach that water intake goal. So that is something I'd recommend. I'd also recommend these big bottles. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if I can put a picture here, but if I can, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. And then I'll also link it down in my description below. I usually recommend these to my clients because sometimes it's really hard to get the water intake that you need. So having those really big water bottles that say, hey, it's 8 a.m., drink this, 11, constant time check-ins, you can at least have that to drink. So like I said, water is super important. It keeps everything flowing, cools us from the inside out, and then it's also very dense. So sometimes we can prevent overeating by making sure we are staying hydrated. The second thing that I recommend is making sure you're getting your Z's in a day. So I am a mother of 2 under 2. So I know what it feels like to not get a full night's sleep all the way through. Trust me, I know. So if you're somebody that is in the same boat as me, or if you're dealing with a new baby, or you're dealing with a new change in your life, the dog, if you're dealing with a new change in your life, sometimes it can be really hard to make sure you're getting your Z's in. Make sure that even if you're not getting that long stretch of 7 to 8 hours of sleep, try sneaking in naps. I usually recommend like that 5, 10, 15, 20-minute nap, just so that you can rest and recover your body. Not only that, when you do take a snooze, your brain is relaxing. You also have better decision making after you take a little snooze. Like I said, 5, 10, 15 minutes makes a huge difference for you to rest your mind. So what happens is, instead of getting all frazzled and you feel like you have steam coming out of your ears, if you take a little snooze, you have better decision making, your cortisol levels are going to be low, and you actually are able to manage stress a little better. So that is a huge playing factor in what we kind of deal with on a daily basis, because we constantly have stressors in our day that just, so just make sure if you can get your Z's in, find a way to sneak it in. I usually, if I can sneak it in, it's either while my child is watching a little TV show, I get like 10 minutes in, that helps. Or if I'm trying to put him down for a nap, mama's falling asleep too for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Anything that can help you get through the day, okay? So like I said, if you're not getting those long hours of sleep, or you're getting broken sleep, just make sure you're being mindful and say like, hey, I can take like a 10-minute, and then you're up and ready to go again. It's not gonna play a huge factor in your life. It's 10 minutes, you can do it. If you find that you cannot do it, it's probably because you're spending a lot of your time scrolling. So if you're somebody that you find yourself like, oh, I'm just scrolling for like 30 minutes, but I'm still so tired, just take a nap, stop scrolling, okay? So that's the second thing I'd recommend. Third thing I recommend is making sure that you are getting some movement in for the day. So I like to say movement because I'm not saying exercise, because sometimes when you hear exercise, everybody just kind of like, oh, gym. No, you don't necessarily have to be going to the gym to get any movement or exercise in. You can do anything from walking outside, making sure you're consistently moving in the house, like physical activity, 15 minutes, cleaning, just hardcore moving for at least 15 minutes. If you want to follow some of my videos on here, I have workouts here that are done in 15 minutes or less. I'll recommend the playlist here so that you can get that done, because sometimes, actually, every day, it's really good to just move your body, because it makes you feel productive. It makes you have some circulation in your body, not only in your body, but in your brain, and your brain appreciates it. It helps you not only, just like sleep, helps you have better decision making, but it also makes you have that time to yourself. Like, okay, I'm taking care of myself for at least 10 or 15 minutes in a day. And especially being a mother, I know that guilt where you're like, I'm not even taking care of myself, I'm just giving to my baby. 10 or 15 minutes is not going to harm your baby. It's actually really good because they're learning like, hey, my mom takes care of themselves. Maybe I should do the same thing, because they should. Self-care is super important. So just make sure that you're doing some sort of movement in a day. The last thing I'd recommend is making sure that you're getting your protein in for the day. So if you need a protein supplement, I'll go ahead and recommend what I'm taking here while I'm breastfeeding and raising a family. But there are also other protein supplements that I'll link below. I'll list one more that isn't for mothers. It's for everybody, so that you can have that down below. But protein is super helpful. It's a dense nutrient. It lasts about 3 to 4 hours in your tummy. Keeps you fuller longer. So just make sure that you are finding a way to get protein in with every meal, so that you can have not only longer lengths, but also just protein in general, because protein is a building block. So you need to make sure, as you are constantly, because our bodies are catabolic, so they're constantly like breaking down. So we need to constantly be eating protein to build back up, if that makes sense, okay? So an example is our bones. They're called osteoclast and osteoblast. So clast are bone breakdowners. So we're constantly having that on a daily basis. Our body is like constantly breaking down bone density, and then our bones, and then we have osteoblast, which are bone builders, okay? So in order to counteract the clast, we have to be producing blast. And in order to make blast, we actually have to be having some sort of impact. So whether that be lifting weights, running, any sort of movement, that is actually counteracting the osteoclast. So just make sure you know that. That is a very like simple example of what our body's doing. We're just always like in a breakdown process, okay? So we need to be making sure that we're building with protein, because protein, like I said, is a building block. So that's very basic. That's why protein is recommended. If you didn't know why, if you're just thinking, why are people recommending protein? Protein is because it is a bone builder. It is the building block of everything. So you need to make sure that you're getting protein in, whether it be in supplement form, during your food, however you want to do it, vegetarian way, meat way, whatever it is, get your protein in, because it is super important. Not only that, if you're a busy mom, having protein in can at least make you last until lunchtime or dinner time or something. Just make you kind of have that buffer, like I said, with the protein supplement, or just protein. Sometimes, you know, you get stretch really long lengths when it comes to your meal time. So that's why I recommend protein. But it's also, like I said, dense, and it's a building block. But since I don't have a ton of time, like I said, that is it. So first thing I recommend is water. Get your Z's, get some movement in, and get your protein in. So those are the 4 things that I recommend in order for you to take care of your health, take control of your health, or have those 4 to be your baseline. So if you ever get thrown off track, always say like, oh, I need to drink water. That's my main thing I need to do. I need to get back to sleeping better. I need to get at least some movement in. It doesn't have to be like an hour and a half, but it can be like 10, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, something. And then make sure I'm getting my protein in. So when you're looking at portions on your meals, or if you're going out to dinner, like, let me focus on getting more protein in than these carbs, which carbs are not bad. Carbs and proteins are good. So sometimes we're just overeating carbs and fats, and we're not focusing on our building block, which is protein. Okay, so we need to make sure we're doing that. Oh, that is the dog. But that is it for today. I really hope you find this information useful. I know I have. Those are the 4 that I usually fall back on whenever I feel like I'm like not doing what I need to be doing. I get my water, get my protein, get some sleep, and movement in the day. But like I said, I really hope you guys enjoy. I am going to be posting new videos every Friday with just nutrition tips, things like this, to kind of help you make sure that you are staying in control of your life and staying in control of your health. But these things are super easy, something that you can do every single day, not going to be stressing you out or anything like that. These tips are to help everyday people take care of their health, okay? This is not to get you to, I'm going to have 6-pack abs one day. No. The overall goal is your health is important. Doesn't matter if you have abs or not. Whatever you got is good, and as long as you're feeling good, you're doing good. So that is it for today, but I really hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.